Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done a video. I just thought I'd do a few tips and a bit of a look at the new game, the Golf Club 2019. Just bought it. It's been out quite a while. I used to own the Golf Club, the original. I skipped the Golf Club 2 and moved on to this one. It seems pretty good. If you've played the Golf Club before, it's very similar. It's got some improvements. Few differences with the swing mechanics, which I'll show you later. Just one thing first of all, obviously this is the main screen. I am playing on Pro Clubs. Now what this means is basically there's three sets. Beginner clubs are easier to hit. There are more forgiveness, I would say, in terms of if you slightly miscue with your swing, in terms of not quite hitting it straight down and up. Pro clubs, slightly less forgiving, and master clubs, not forgiving at all. And I'll show you what that means on the actual swing mechanics later if you haven't seen it before. In terms of what are the benefits, beginner clubs tend to hit slightly less. They tend to be less accurate, I would say. The more you move up, the slightly further you hit with a driver, for example, with your clubs, and the more accurate it is. So if you imagine hitting a perfect shot on every one of these clubs, beginner clubs you might hit, say, a 270 with a driver, pro clubs you might hit a 280, master clubs you hit a 290, as an example. I don't know if that's correct. And also, it's more accurate. So if you're aiming circle, say if there was no wind, it's a flat lie, if you hit this towards the pin, it might go slightly off even if you've hit it perfect. Pro clubs slightly less, and master clubs will be pretty accurate. Again, that's on a perfect shot, perfect swing, if you're aiming perfectly, for example. The first thing I'll do is I will show you the swing mechanics, just in case you're not familiar. I'll skip the whole overview. If you hold L2 on any shot before you've taken it, it brings up the lie. So if you were on the fairway, it would show you in this green grid whether the ball's below your feet, above your feet. I'll show you that a bit later. On the bottom right, that circle, now that is your swing accuracy and tempo. So if we look at the blue vertical line that runs obviously from the top of the circle downwards, that is the swing plane, I would say. So as you pull back on the left analog stick and then push forward to swing, that will actually show you, if you press L3 in, you go on a practice swing. So if I have a look here, I'll just do a practice swing. So as you can see there, that white line is exactly the movement on my analog stick. So that wasn't great. And that wasn't great either. So at the top I went slightly left, slightly right, and that's pretty much perfect. Now on the left hand side of the circle you've got two red markers, you can see there. This is for swing tempo. Now this is a new thing to me. I don't know if it was on Golf Club 2 game, but it certainly was not on the Golf Club first game. So you could be as accurate as you want with the analog stick, but if your timing is off, it will affect the shot. The upswing, if you are too slow, I think it just affects the distance. If you are too quick, it can actually improve distance, but it can possibly decrease the accuracy. The downswing to me is the key. Now if you are too quick, you will hook the ball, and if you are too slow, you will slice the ball. The downswing is the top and the backswing is the bottom. So the downswing is the most key. It will tell you after you've taken a shot, or even a shot preview as this, of how your swing is. So it says perfect for both. And that was fast. Purposely trying to get a fast There we go. I was trying to get a fast upswing, which is the bottom, which I got, and then a perfect downswing, which is good. And that was a slow upswing. That's about perfect. So as you can see, I am going a bit cold. Yesterday, after half an hour or so, I was hitting most shots pretty much in that straight line with the analog stick. Timing, you can still go off, but let's just take a shot. So the wind's just in our face. We'll just strike this as you would expect. And that is dreadful.
I don't think I'm liking this.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. Well, that was a great start. Not only did I swing right anyway, I hit a slow downswing, which makes it go right naturally anyway. I thought that would have been plugged, but it's not. This is going to be risky. I mean, I'm just going to go for this, to be fair. Like I say, if you hold L2, it will show you the lie. So the ball's slightly above our feet. Now, if the ball's above your feet as a right-hander, the ball will naturally go left. If it's below your feet, it naturally goes right. So you want to compensate for that. Now, the wind's also going left, and the ball's above our feet, so this ball will certainly be flying left. It's going to be aiming probably about over here, not too far because the trees are there and the bunker's there. Again, holding L2, you can add loft, you can decrease loft, you can add draw and fade by holding L2 and using the directional buttons. As you can see, the more fade, draw, loft you add or take away, it thins out that blue line, which is the, the accuracy of your swing. If you add loft or draw on and you want to take it away, you can just change clubs and back again and it will reset it. I'm going to leave that as it is. I was possibly thinking of adding a little bit of fade on to fight against the wind and the lie, but I'm not going to, and the wind's slightly changed now. It was at about 9, it's dropped to about 6, which you've got to watch out for if you take a while on your shot. So let's just take this, we'll just hope to get somewhere near the green. Probably not, but I mean, that's pretty decent. Might stop short, just does, but that's from where we were, that's pretty decent. Now we could chip it from here. I think I'm just going to take a putt, to be honest. Now putts, what we tend to do is for every inch that the elevation of the putt is, we add a foot. Normally on uphill putts you add a little bit more as well. So if it's 5 inches uphill, you would have 5 feet, maybe add another extra foot or two, depending how long the putt is. Downhill, you just take it away. So 7 inches downhill, take away 7 foot. Now here we've got a 7-yard putt, which is roughly about 21 feet, I think. It's up about a foot. We don't know the exact inches, but we'll say it's 12 inches. So where it says there about 32 foot, that's probably about right. Now just to let you know, you can move this marker. It does not affect the power. Okay, so if you knew this, if you change that to 7 foot and you hit this full power, it will not go 7 foot. It will look to go the full putting range, which on the top there says 144. This is just for yourself, basically, to get an idea of where you want to aim. There is a tip that I saw about roughly how far to swing back for every 10 foot, and it's about a 1 count, a fairly quick 1 count. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it's a 40 foot putt, you would swing on the 4. So 1, 2, 3, swing. Now I'll show you again. You can press L3 for a preview. So if it was 40 foot, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, swing on the 4, and that will be about 40 foot. The 3, you go 1, 2, 3, and it's to give you a rough idea. Now a lot of it is feel. It's not like the old Tiger Woods games where you can change the putting for. You used to be able to change it like where the maximum putt was 10 foot, then 20 foot, then maybe 50 foot, then 100 foot. It's not like that. It's very much a feel. It will take you a while to get used to it. If you use that timing count, that's to give you a rough idea, and then you can adjust accordingly to the feel of the game. It's very hard to actually explain until you play it. What I normally do is press the triangle button if you're on PlayStation. I will use that left analog stick to go right down here, zoom in with the R2 button, and what I'll do is I'll start at the back and I'll just move forward to get a look. So on the grids you can see the little beads running from left to right. Might seem obvious, but that just means that it's the left to right slope, and obviously the quicker they go, the more the slope. So if you run yourself along the green here, pretty much steady all along the green, it's running from left to right. Also to bear in mind that an uphill putt, the slope doesn't tend to affect it as much. The downhill putt, you've got to take more into account. Now putting is probably, to me, the part of the game that it's still a struggle to get used to. Even having some experience on the old game, which I played, I mean it was many years ago now. So what we'll do here is aim about 32 foot. We'll aim maybe just outside the hole, maybe a cup, maybe slightly less. So 1, 2, 3. You see, it was just short, but you can see that timing, the 1, 2, 3, it's roughly about right. The line was about right. If I'd hit that a bit harder, it would have been very close to the hole there. I'm not going to talk as much as this through every single hole. Hopefully I won't hit a bad tee shot on the next one. Again, I am going a bit cold into this, so bear with me. And that's perfect. And the timing as well. That's good. You can speed up the shot by holding triangle if you want to.
I'd say around 105 yards.
So, pretty much on every shot, the first thing I do is check the lie. The ball is very slightly below my feet. That's not really going to affect it at all. So, for elevation, going to the green, what we do is we look at the elevation, which is 2 foot up. What I tend to do is divide that by a third and add it on as a yard. So if it was 3 foot, which we'll call that, we'll add a yard on. If it was 9 foot up, divided by 3, that's 3 foot. So you'd add 3 yards on. Do the same for going downhill, you just subtract it instead. So we'll just call that a foot. So we'll say that's 106 yards. The wind is directly left to right, so it shouldn't affect the distance too much. But for the wind, I would tend to add or subtract the miles per hour as yards. So if that wind was going, let's change again to 4. If that was going 4 miles an hour directly in your face, you would add 4 yards on. If it was helping you, if it was behind you heading forward, you would subtract 4 yards. Okay, so 105. The club's about 106. You can add the loft on, like I said earlier. If you put full loft on this, I'll describe that in the next hole, but I'll add a tiny bit of loft just to stop it a little bit quicker, and we'll just go for it here. Decent swing. It's coming slightly back to the right, and that little bit of loft probably wasn't needed, so it did stop a little bit short. So 13 foot, 2 inches downhill, again take 2 foot off, so that's about 11. Use the triangle, have a look. You don't have to do this all the time, but it's just as quite a quick slope here. You can see the beads are moving slightly quicker than the last hole. So, and it's downhill, so that affects it more. I would say give it a little bit of room about here, and just slope it down. Didn't quite give it enough, but it's about the right pace. Not bad, but really should have given it a little bit more room to maneuver. But Again, there's different speeds on each green, on each course. It takes a while to get used to. If you're going in cold, it can take a few holes to get used to that speed. So on a par 5 here, the wind's in our face. I was hoping to go for this in 2, might not be able to. Just try and get a good swing. And again, straight up and down, and the timing is perfect, which is fantastic. Yeah, the wind in our face, I mean that's a 277 yardage. I'd expect a little bit more than that normally. Now, do we go for this? The wind's in our face, it probably won't make it anyway. But do we just have a pop at it? Aim for the bunker, slightly, the lie, it will slightly below our feet, so we might want to aim a little bit more there. Can't hit this any better, just where I got the line. Now the line looks good. Oh, go on son, close. Now normally I'd probably just put this, because I'm so close to the green. Let's have a look at the putt. But should we just go for a chip just to show you it? That was a bit too much.
Here we go, drop this one for birdie.
Downhill, 6 foot putt. I'll probably just hit it about 6 foot to be honest. Right or left, probably aim about there, just about cut outside. Perfect. Normally, like I say, I would have just putted from the edge of the green and I would have been a lot closer. So we're probably in between clubs here, but the wind, the fact that it's downhill normally lessens the bounce, but the wind pushing will make it bounce further. So I might go for 165, aim slightly right, and hope that I get a decent bounce. Here we go. Perfect. Line's about right. Bite. So I'm going to aim about here. It's about 2 count. So 1, 2, and that's it. That's nice. That was a perfectly weighted putt. Probably was going about a foot, maybe a foot and a half past if it missed. So, wind is right or left. Going to be tricky not getting it in that bunker there. It's another par 5. What I might do is add a tiniest bit of fade, and that is the tiniest bit. Now if I hit this perfect, the fade should just counteract the wind enough. And again, that's perfect.
This looks pretty safe.
See, the fade's just holding it off there, so I only added a little bit, but it's held off enough. In fact, being the left side of the fairway, I think it's going to help the next shot anyway.
Looks like about 205 yards to pin here.
So, ball slightly below our feet, so that will send it slightly to the right, not much. Down 4 foot, so we'll say it's about a yard, maybe 2 yards down. So we'll call it 205. The 3-iron is 204, but you've got to account for, you know, bounce, roll, etc. We have a look here. It's just left to right. Looks like a pretty flat green. Yeah, so again, maybe aim about there, just the right side. Maybe add a little bit of loft. You don't get as much loft on the long irons. Just where this might run a little bit too long. Didn't quite aim right enough, but it's looking decent. And that extra little bit of loft is perfect. Look at the yardage, 205. That is pretty much as perfect as one. I could have just aimed a little bit further right. 9 foot, down 2 inches, about a 7 footer. It's very slightly left to right. I'll just aim left edge. Oh. How did that not turn at all?
4 feet to the hole. You can do this.
How did that not turn?
And you're in the hole with a nice one.
So wind left to right, it is a dogleg left, so I'll probably add a little bit of, I think I added a bit too much on, so I'll just reset it. A little bit of draw. Again, that should hopefully, a little bit left, counteract the wind. Ooh, slightly sliced it. Hopefully the hook, well, the draw, sorry, not the hook. Oh, I'm in the rough. Yeah, just the wind caught, and I did hit it slightly right there. Slightly weird skewed shot there. And it didn't quite make it. Probably because of the accuracy of my
We're back on the fairway. Let's take a look at
swim there.
hitting this green.
14 foot. Slightly above my feet. So, oops. I'll add lots of loft, and I'll try and hit this. Oh dear.
All right, we got a 22-footer. Let's see if we can do this.
Don't ask me for chipping advice, I'll tell you that. So 22, we'll call it 24 foot, maybe. Maybe about there. It's about the right way, and it just turns slightly too much there, and then it went back left after the whole green.
And this one for bogey.
So bogey, a disappointing hole there. It was
And after that hole,
from the tee.
to 2 under.
Had 3 birdies in a row.
Okay, let's see what happens here on this par 4. Let's go ahead
Par
and drop
4.
this one into the
Bit of a better
fairway.
wind.
Take it from there.
Nice swing there. It's finding that rhythm with the swings. It does take practice. Go on the driving range. Do a shot preview before you shot if you want to.
All right,
120 hard yards. It's up 4 foot, so I just had a yard on. So 126, but it's helping by 6 miles per hour. So say it's about 120. In between clubs, so it's almost flat bang in between 2 clubs here. So I can play it as a 132. That's clearly going to go past with the wind. I could play it as 160, but that is way short. You might add another 5-6 yards on, so that'd be about 110. That's not going to be enough, and that'll stop pretty much dead. So what we'll do is we'll look to add some loft on. What you would say is for the wedges, if you add full loft, it would tend to take around about 8 to 10 yards off. For the short irons, 8-9 iron may take about 7-8 yards off. For the mid irons, it might take 6 to 7 yards off. And for the long irons, you don't like 3-4 irons, it might take about 6 yards off, because they don't have as much loft anyway. So if we put full loft on, it should take hopefully about 8 yards off, which would hopefully be about right. Although the wind's picked up, so this may go slightly too far anyway. Hit that pretty perfect.
hope this one bites.
Yeah, it's gone slightly too far, but that's decent. There wasn't too much I could do. You can try and do partial swings. I still haven't got used to doing, 3/4 swings and things like that. just trying to go with the basics for now. So 13 foot downhill, sorry 14 foot downhill, so we'll say it's about 12 foot. And it's going to be quite a quick slope here in terms of turn, with being downhill as well. So 12 foot. I'm probably going to aim, if I hit this the right weight, I think about here. It's probably slightly too wide. Yeah, perfect weight. Just misjudged the line. If I can get my words out.
Decent little putt there. 2 under for the round.
Let me know if you know, anyone watching has got any decent tips themselves. You know, anyone that's played it for quite a while, or even newcomers that might have just picked up on something. Or if there's any tips that have helped you, please let me know. So this one's down 10 foot, so we'll say that's 9. So we'll take 3 yards off, sorry, so that's 168. The wind's pretty much right or left, slightly in our face, so that may take slightly more off. So we'll probably play the 7 iron. Might go slightly further left because of that swing and the wind. Looks about the right distance though. It's a fairly good distance, it's just the swing wasn't quite right. It's turned a lot more than I thought. Looked like the start of the putt, it just turned left immediately. Drop that one in. And you know, there's nothing wrong with getting pars. I would say aim for a par on every hole. If you can get a par, great. Now if it's better, fantastic. Don't be trying to get birdie on every single hole. And obviously some holes you want to be a little bit more aggressive on, naturally. Some holes you want to be a bit more cautious. Par 5s, you always want to try and get a birdie, you would say, realistically, but don't set yourself out to get a birdie on every hole, because if you stress yourself about it, your swing will probably go off and it'll just not happen. Decent swing.
So far, so good for
Looks
this one.
about right, but slightly further left than I would want. Just with the way the green is and the wind, this is going to be a
Man,
difficult.
looks like we have about 135
second shot
yards
here.
or so to go.
Yeah, that's quite a small green from the angle I've got here. Now if I'd have been slightly further right, I could have maybe done a little bit of a draw shot. So 137 to the flag, 6 miles an hour, so we'll say it's about 132, which is what the pitching wedge is. But what I'm going to do is check the lie slightly below, so touch left. I am going to add a tiny bit of loft on. Ah, that swing, man.
That's going to have to hit something.
I didn't go too far left actually, but
Yeah, you ended
that was a
up nice and
terrible
safe.
swing.
Still,
So if we drift this in from about there, that looks good. Oh my word. That was the
oh, you're
perfect
close
weight.
here. Let's drop it and move on to the next hole. Well done.
Just slightly misjudged their line.
Very solid round after 9. Looking fantastic.
3 birdies and 1
This
bogey in the front
is hole
9.
number 10.
Not bad. But I've hit some poor shots as well. I'm probably not going to hit a driver here with the wind. Probably going to hit a 5 wood. Pretty decent swing. I've got the right line. It's slightly further left than I thought, but it's back in the centre of the fairway now. Decent shot. Oh, what is that stroke? What was that? Yep, still bounced quite a bit further than I thought.
You're on the green.
A bit more loft would have helped and a better swing.
All right, this putt for the birdie.
Again, we'll let us have another downhill putt. This I'll play is about 16 foot. This is going to be quite a swing because if you look at the start of the putt, it's going quite quick left to right. The next few squares it starts to slow up. But I am going to aim quite wide. Pull back in, pull back in, pull back in, go on. Again, perfect weight.
All right, par 3.
The par 3.
And that will take it.
Wind in our face, which I like. That should help a bit. It's down 8 foot, we'll call it 9. So divide by 3, that's 3. So that places about 140. Then you've got your wind in your face, so you might want to add about 10 miles an hour. So it plays about 150. Oh, it's like in between clubs really, isn't it? But if I had a bit of loft on, pretty much perfect. Maybe a little bit too much loft, but it's on the green,
Go for the birdie.
4 inches up, places about 30 foot. Need a bit of a closer look here because so slightly left to right, then it goes right to left, and it goes slightly left to right. See, this is all rubbish up here, so I'll probably just play it as is, to be honest, and play it as about a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Again, the 3 count, it worked. Probably could have done a little bit more heat on it just to make sure it goes past the hole. What happened there? Right, if you look on the left, you can see a very fast downswing, which completely hooked the ball.
This is the danger zone.
I didn't feel like I did do a fast downswing there. I mean, there's just trees everywhere here. Even a punch shot, would a punch shot work here? Let's do it. To be honest, that's a pretty good shot, and if it keeps going, ooh, close.
Okay, back on the fairway.
That was an
See if I can
awful
bring
tee
up.
shot. 28 yards. Now what we'll do, oh, it was already on flop. I was going to say we're going to try a flop, because I know there's a 28 yard flop. They don't tend to stick as much as you would think. I will add quite a bit of loft on. The ball is, okay, the ball's above my feet, so it will go slightly left. Bit of wind, so that is perfect. Now I call that a good save. I mean, that first tee shot, I don't know how it did such a quick downswing, but to get a par from there, a lovely punch shot and a lovely flop shot. Again, I was slightly fast there. Not quite sure what's going on with my timing. Okay, it was just outside the range, so I hasn't hooked too much. Ball slightly above my feet, so it'll go left naturally, and then the wind, I'm going to aim quite far right here. I'm going to aim for that bunker, let it come back. And again, slightly fast, so it's going to slightly hook, but it looks okay. And yeah, yardage was a little bit too much, but it's okay. I reckon about there. You just try and trace it with your eye. It's about 1.5 goats. It's a bit too hard. Oh my word, that was close. It wasn't too hard, it was perfect, and the line was almost perfect. And you've got to say, there has been some of the putts that have been a little bit unlucky. I've been close with quite a few of them.
Still at
But
2
again,
under
if you
par
play another round and you play pretty much the right power and you know the line's just about right, you will start dropping those putts. Just a few adjustments. So this is quite a drop. So 19 foot. I'm going to put it as 21 foot simply because it divides easily into 7. So we'll drop that by 7, which is 183. The wind is helping by 6, so that's about 177. I'm going to play it as 174 because remember it will also roll a bit as well. So I'm going to play it slightly left just for the wind. Slight bit of loft just to take a bit of the sting out of it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my swing. The past few shots is just oh my
worth the drink.
Oh my word. Well, sorry guys for that shot, that was just horrendous. I've just lost all rhythm. That's about right. I was trying to play it, see I've played at 85% power shot, that was about right. I didn't want to play it too far away to go in the water again. 10 yards, get lost. Oh my goodness. Right, just forget you ever saw this hole. I had a nice putt.
Absolutely fine putting. All right,
Double
shot
bogey.
you up to even par.
Wow. Okay.
Liking that tee shot.
Again, slightly fast on the swing, but not too much. So it's okay. Did you know, but it might help
It's gonna
take some of the sting off it.
Okay, they're on the green now. A little 6 footer here, nothing too scary.
That was totally intentional, by the way. Ooh, this is a tricky putt. 6 footer, but look at the break on this. Oh, I didn't like that. It was in though. What I'm planning to do on my next video, assuming I'm not going to play oval, is again slightly fast. Again. I'm going to show you my career mode.
Feel good.
Give you a bit of an overview of that.
Deep rough
I have
here.
managed to make it onto the
Sugar-coated.
PGA Tour. Try and get it back in the fairway somewhere. I'll have a shot at a 30. Don't go left.
Get back on the fairway.
I mean, that just didn't turn at all. Clear not full power, and that is a fantastic bunker shot there. Just left right edge.
There's a nice putt. Okay, 1 under for the round.
I've had a few good saves to be honest, which is,
17th hole coming up.
I suppose, a good thing. Not great for my tee shot successor, but
This one looks pretty safe.
slow on the upswing this time, which means it's got slightly less yardage. I'd rather have that than go off track.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it as it is. It's still not turning. What is going on? I don't know what it is, but the past few shots the wind just has not had any effect. It's time to take action, don't want to hit it full. That's what I was trying to hit the last time, 85%, and that's pretty much bang on.
4 feet. Let's do this.
This the save.
Nice putt. You're
Nice.
in there.
Stuff it. Please don't go in the water.
That's looking nice off the tee.
Nice. I mean, if you look at that line on my swing, it doesn't look great, so I was worried that was going to go
And
somewhere near the water.
30.
Look at that line, man, that's terrible.
It's looking good so far.
Decent yardage. Quite a quick slope, but it's uphill, remember, so...
Okay, this one for par.
Nice putt.
that is the round this time. So a messy round, I would say.
Par to end things here. Well done.
1 under par.
Playing. We'll see you next time.
Playing off the black tees. So, you know, again, not to make excuses, but I am quite new to this game, still trying to get used to it. Had a decent start. I mean, you look, by 5 hole, I was 3 under. Started to go a bit wrong after that. You know, only 2 bogeys in the round, but there were quite a few saves that got in there. You know, went in the water at one point, went far right into the, far left into the woods at one point, I believe it was. So that's basically it, guys. As you can see, I'm level 4 at the moment because I've played a few rounds. You get experience, and when you go up a level, you tend to unlock new outfits, you know, new customizable items for your character, and you earn coins, which I haven't actually looked into what you do with them yet. But I hope you've enjoyed, guys. I know it's been a bit of a long video, but I just wanted to give you a few tips and hints. Hopefully you'll use those hints better than I have done, but a lot of that has been down to my actual swing mechanics rather than the actual advice. My swing's been off today. Again, I think you need a few rounds to get into it, and you get the flow of it, you get the feel, and you do tend to play better as, you know, the game goes on. But thank you very much. I hope you can like the video, subscribe if you can, and leave any comments below. Cheers.